winner of the Golden Anniversary 500-mile race.
I'm quite sure I had tears running down my eyes like a big old baby. You know, I was just so happy and thrilled. It's all the years that I dreamed to listen to the race and then be lucky enough to win the race.
American flag for A.J. Foyt, with the right hand up in the air, waving to the crowd, the winner of the 1964 500-mile race.
Gurney and Foyt hold down first and second through turn 9. The crowd loves it. Foyt tries a little too hard in turn 8. Gurney has built a big lead. Trouble on the 167th lap. Foyt has no brakes and ducks to the inside to avoid Junior Johnson. Foyt goes into the dirt at over 100 miles per hour and flips end over end for several hundred feet. A.J. was lucky to live through this one. He was hospitalized in serious condition and was out of action for months.
A.J. Foyt is even faster. It's Foyt's first pole position at Indianapolis.
I just got out of the hospital with broken back and legs and all that injury. Indianapolis was my first race. Jimmy Clark broke the track record. I went out behind him and broke track record. And if you remember on the PA, I said I'm glad to bring the track record back to the United States. So that ought to tell you how I feel about it.
The highlight of the '65 season and one of A.J.'s proudest moments came on an August weekend. Foyt captured the 100-mile dirt race at Springfield, Illinois, and then headed for the Milwaukee Mile to be a spectator. His new rear-engine Lotus wasn't ready for the Milwaukee's paved oval. At the last moment, he decided to unload his dirt car and try to qualify with it. Well, he did more than just qualify, and by the end of the afternoon, the fans were hoarse from cheering, and another chapter of A.J.'s legacy was in the books.
Couldn't believe that I set the car on the pole with Gurney and Clark and Pernelli and everybody there in the rear engine Fords, and here I got a car that I won with the day before, set on the pole at the 200-mile race at Milwaukee, and Lloyd Ruby won it in a rear engine car, and I probably would have won the race, but I had to make a pit stop, and my car was mainly carried enough fuel to run 100 miles, not 200, so we had to stop, like I say, and refuel the car, and we actually still run second in the race, and so I'd have to say that was one of the highlights of my career. And Gordon come back to me and he said, I set racing back, he said, 15 years, he said.
A four-car crack-up creates havoc.
It's an all-American win. The veteran Dan Gurney from California, the hard-charging A.J. Foyt.
He told us before the race he wanted to run it hard, lead all the way if he could, and he hasn't led all the way, but most of the way, and he wins the Daytona 500, and that's an appropriate sign, isn't it?
The white flag, one more lap to go. And the historic checkered flag, the 61st running of the Indianapolis 500-mile Speed Classic is...
Competitors, large and small, famous and not so famous, enjoy varying degrees of success. Super Tech's A.J. Foyt would have his vengeance, though, in the 50-yard dash. demonstrating a good start, strong speed, defeating Gordon Smiley, and providing what he hopes will be a preview of the money race on Sunday.
A.J., how'd that start? Well, I don't know. He ran right square in my What are you talking about? Cogan? Hogan. A.J. Foyt blames it on Kevin Cogan.
That was just a stupid deal. The guy had his head up his That's all.
Okay, under the yellow, A.J. Foyt looks like he's angry this time again. Bill Fleming's down there. Let's go.
It's the ultimate frustration for A.J. Foyt. Whatever the problem was, A.J. thought that he had it fixed. He tried to get the car out. It would not go in gear, and all of a sudden the engine stalled. He threw his gloves out. I don't even know whether it's possible to get in there close. I'm sure his temperature is pretty close to 212 right now.
I would say Foyt is a bit unhappy.
A.J. Foyt more than a bit unhappy. And here comes the old living anachronism. The crew chief, race driver, team owner, everything else. He's going to work on the car himself. This man, really an anachronism. A throwback to the days of Barney Oldfield and Ralph De Palma, when the fellow would jump out, make the repairs, get back in the race. And the crowd here cheering him on. They love to see it when A.J. gets out and starts working on his own car.
They're loving it, Jim. But, you know, Foyt knows himself, and he's releasing an awful lot of tension right now. If he can get this thing fixed, he will get back into the car and feel very comfortable.
Okay, 25 years at Indy. Could this be his last year? Well, he's never said so, but some year has to be his last year. And when it's over, one thing will be sure.
Then on lap number 9, a problem developing between Kevin Cogan and A.J. Foyt as they battled for the lead down in turn number 1. The cars getting together, both cars hitting the outside wall, a flash of fire. Neither driver seriously injured, although A.J. Foyt has been taken to the hospital. They'll check his leg over further. Bobby Rahal then went on to win the one.
But you know, Paul, while other drivers, I think, have conceded the fact that in this day of racing, you have to really have a top team. The driver, you see Jack Starnes, A.J.'s crew chief there, you really have to have a terrific team behind you. And A.J., although he has Starnes and many other good men on the team, does not have the total team to put him at the front. He's got to do something about that.
Let's go to Brian. A.J. Foyt out of the race after a tremendous run. What happened, A.J.?
Well, actually, all I've had is mechanical problems. The guys aren't got their heads together and just flat got their heads up there. I know the truth about it.
You were running 5th today. You were running very strong early.
I know, but the car was screwed up from the first lap on. The wastegate was open and closing. I was having trouble there, and then the bearing went out. We got here, they left the fuel lines loose. It caught the car on fire. Then they leave the bella loose. They cross-thread 2 rear nuts. They're just screwed up. That's all. I need to make a change.
A.J. Foyt not happy with his crew here at Michigan. Paul?
You know, it's too bad, too, because I'm of the opinion that if A.J. Foyt would use that team and test a little bit more and spend more time in practice, he'd be up running with the likes of a Rick Mears any day.
I, too, would jump to the defense of some of his men. There's Chris.
He's had a hot spell here lately. You know, he's been going fast. There's Emmo into the pits again. Foyt's had a hot streak here lately. He's really been fast in the stock cars and the IROC cars. There he is leaving on his little bike. And he wants to race right now. I don't care how old he is. The guy is racy right now, so he needs to get his team lined up and get things where he's happy again.
And as we saw in the IROC yesterday, and we'll no doubt see again in 2 weeks when we see the final round of the 4-race IROC series, Foyt is still capable of throwing a race car around a racetrack. He is terrific.
Well, the team seems to have prepared his motor scooter quite well. It's running beautiful.
Now, after last year's experience of losing in the last mile, they're making it a 3-stop race as the crew's working at A.J. Foyt's car. The kart safety team is there, and we'll keep track of this situation as well. He just came right off the end of the very first corner. So A.J. Foyt off the course. They have yellows only standing in that area of the circuit. The safety crew is there, and Michael Andretti leads here at Road America. We'll be back with more right after this. Back at Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, the Texaco Haviland 200. I'm Paul Tage with Derek Daly, Gary Gerald, and Lynn St. James. And you're watching from Michael Andretti's camera, and as he works his way around the track, you will notice that there is a yellow flag at every corner station. That is because of A.J. Foyt's accident. The officials of CART have decided, because of this situation, they don't want to take any chances. They're still working at the car with A.J. That's the CART safety team. And they're going full course yellow so that they can get the field under control. Now, that'll take some time to bring this field up. And Michael Andretti, who hit the pits just before this full course yellow, has now lost. Look, to bring out the jaws of life. So they're working with a serious situation down there with A.J. Foyt. He apparently just skipped right over that gravel pit.
The great thing about the gravel traps is they do catch the cars unless you go straight into them. Then you can actually get right through.
A.J. Foyt now is extricated from his race car just off the end of the first turn, and with all of the safety equipment that is parked there, they move him very carefully. An air ambulance is sitting only a few feet away. He will be moved directly to that air ambulance and then taken down to Milwaukee County General Hospital. Now, the report is that he is conscious, that he has suffered injuries to his lower extremities, and that's all we know at this moment. Several of those men there are doctors, they're physicians, they're experts in traumatic care and emergency care, as well as paramedics, extrication experts, and firefighters. We can see that some sort of intravenous solution is being used with A.J., and as soon as Dr. Steve Alvey, who has his back to us, is capable of giving us a report.
Attempt. For A.J., this is his 34th consecutive Indianapolis 500 and supposedly the last for the four-time winner. It's been a long and happy association for A.J. and Indy.
Well, you know, Mr. Hullman and I was very close. I respected man highly. When I first come up to Indianapolis, they really gave me a place to live, and I guess I was kind of like an adopted son to Mr. Hullman, and I really respect him, and I think Mr. Hullman was probably as happy as I was when I won the fourth time, because we rode around the racetrack, and he had tears in his eyes, and I had tears in my eyes, and I think both of us probably the biggest thrill that I will ever have in my lifetime, and I'm quite sure it was before Mr. Hullman passed away, one of the biggest thrills he ever had, because to me, it's one of the biggest things in my life is Indianapolis.
With Indy tradition in his heart and his glory days still playing in his memory, Foyt finds the inspiration and the speed needed to qualify in the front row. Foyt singes the old Brickyard for an average four-lap speed of 222.443 miles an hour.
Jeff Andretti run right over. He's all over the
Vintage A.J.
A.J., it was Jeff Andretti that got...
Well, yeah, he's all over the track. You don't know where the hell he's going.
And it was suspension problem that...
Yeah, I kept from knocking him through the goddamn wall. I'm tired of this shit. Got people out there that shouldn't even be in the goddamn race car.
Well, you talk about emotion. There's the vintage A.J. Foyt, Paul.
Almost circa the confrontation at the start of the Indianapolis 500 with Kevin Kogan. But the emotion that A.J. feels so strongly there is also the emotion that carried him to championships. As A.J. Foyt climbs out of his race car.
It's a hard decision, but it comes a time. I don't know.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports View 500 Extra. That retirement announcement from A.J. Foyt overshadowed the drama that comes with pole day, and it was a decision A.J. made just before qualifying started. This was what led to it. In practice this morning, Robbie Gordon lost control in turn one and hit the wall. Robbie was uninjured, but the car was damaged, and A.J. realized he couldn't do two jobs and do them both justice. So just before qualifying, A.J. suited up and took one final lap around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in his legendary car number 14. He got a standing ovation from the crowd, and then after 35 consecutive starts at the Brickyard, he announced his intentions to the world.
It's a hard decision, but it comes a time. I don't know.
He said, it's a hard decision, but there comes a time.
The fans have brought me back as many years I've been back, but I felt like if I'm going to run a team, I can't be in a race car. Seems like every time I'm not with the car, something happens, and I realized that this morning. Just as I went to get the green, the yellow come out. It was my other car, so if I'm going to be a successful car owner, I've got to spend 110% of my time with the car and not think of A.J. So, Mr. Banlin and Ford Motor Company, this decision was made about, well, when Robbie hit the wall was when I made the decision. I intended to qualify, and the car is a very fast car I got out of. I know it'll make the race very easy. I'd have no problem putting it in the show, and I think, like I said, it comes a time. I love all y'all a lot. You've been great fans. I love you, and I'll still be back, and we'll still be up in the winner's circle. Thank you very much.
At times.
The big Roger Penske. Where in the hell was Penske made? Right here at this racetrack. He damn sure didn't make this place like A.J. Foyt didn't, or Wilbur Shaw, or whoever. And when I'm sick and tired of hearing the crap, and I'll tell you why. Because, like Mario, like they made Indianapolis, they made.
A.J. Foyt just struck Arie Luyendyk. Arie came into the winner's circle claiming to have won the race, and as Arie walked away, A.J. backhanded him upside the head and knocked Arie to the ground. And now the security has come in, and they're separating the two sides, and it has certainly spoiled this victorious scene here in winner's circle.
In a heated argument or whatever people want to call it, I know it looked awful bad on TV for my part, which we showed throughout the world, I guess. But it's one of the misfortune things, and I do want to apologize to the world's public, my racing audience, for what happened. I guess you'd have to say that's A.J.
A.J. Foyt is livid, fellas. He just yelled at Eliseo Salazar and said, "You got passed by a girl."
It looked like Sato had a 4-second lead, just pulled away, kind of got held up by Marco Andretti, and then you get beat out of the pits, and that really gets him in the middle of this whole thing.
Well, when you're down in pits where we are, you're going to get beat out. We had a great stop, but the deal with Marco and all that, more or less, I would have to say blocking for his own damn car is a bunch of crap. They don't seem like they want to do anything there, and like this deal here was probably just as much his on trying to move over as the other boy, but get you a car, loud down, you'd think you'd back off, but I don't know, you got a bunch of goddamn idiots, is all I can say.
I'll set my challenge, challenging Roger Penske, the president of ABC Supply, Keith Rosella, and the president of RL, Mark Miles.